If you are thinking about bariatric surgery, maybe you've already planned it, maybe you already have a surgeon, and maybe you already have a date. And if you're starting to get nervous or having second thoughts about your decision, this video is for you. I've been there, and I'm going to tell you what I wish someone had told me right before I had surgery. I know people who have planned everything. They found a surgeon, they did their psych evaluation, they did their sleep study, they did their pre op diet. They get to a week, maybe even days before they have surgery, and then they back out because they feel nervous. I want you to know that everybody feels nervous. And I'm going to tell you some things that will help you prepare mentally and emotionally for having weight loss surgery. My name is Sean. I've lost 140 pounds through bariatric surgery. I had a mini-gastric bypass in March 2022 and also weight loss medication. I'm also a health journalist and I've worked for a weight loss clinic. And now I am independent and I help people who are thinking about bariatric surgery with some peer coaching. If you spend the next few minutes with me in this video, I'm going to cover 6 different things that you can do to get mentally and emotionally ready for having weight loss surgery. The first one is anesthesia anxiety. A lot of people, especially when they've never had any kind of procedure or surgery before, feel nervous about going under anesthesia. They worry that they might never wake up, or they worry that they will wake up in the middle of the procedure. I want you to know neither is very common, but this is a real fear that people have that can hold you back from having the procedure that you need for your health. So let's talk about it. Number one, even though you have family and friends around you who may be supporting you, if they don't know anything about anesthesia or they're not medical experts, they're not necessarily the people to go to. They might exacerbate your fears. We all have that one person who's going to be like, oh, yeah, girl, I heard, this and that. Don't go to that person. You know who I'm talking about. Instead, I want you to go to your surgeon. Go to your surgeon's team. And maybe you even have access to the anesthesiologist. I promise you, you are not the first person to have these kinds of fears. One of the things they can do is just explain what happens. Sometimes the fear is just fear of the unknown, and understanding what happens with anesthesiology and how it works might help alleviate some of those fears that you're having. So go talk to them and they might be able to explain things to you in a way that you're like, oh, okay, I get it, and you're more comfortable with it. The other thing that they can do is they can give you meditations or breathing exercises that can help you, things that you can practice in the days before your surgery and even the morning of your surgery. So that way you feel more comfortable and at ease. I promise you, they want you to feel comfortable too. So don't feel like you're being a nuisance by going to them and asking for help with this problem. You are not the first person, and they've helped a lot of people with this same kind of fear. Okay. So that's how you address anesthesia anxiety. Another thing that you can do to get mentally ready for surgery is to have reasonable expectations about how much weight you can lose over a period of time. I see this happen a lot in social media where people complain that they're slow losers or they've only lost 10 pounds in 2 weeks or some other unrealistic expectation, or they start comparing themselves to other people who are posting on social media platforms about how much weight they've lost. The first thing to know is that comparison is not a good thing. It's never apples to apples. Everybody is different. When someone posts what they've lost on social media, you don't always know how far out they are from surgery. Sometimes they share, sometimes they don't. You don't know how much weight they had to lose or where they started. You don't know their health condition. You don't know what procedure they had. All of those things play a part in how fast someone loses weight. So it's not a good thing to compare because you just can't compare your journey to someone else's. And I'm going to do a longer video about what to expect and the whole phenomenon of slow losers. The other thing to know is that in the days right after you have your surgery, you may actually gain some weight. After I had my surgery, I went back in 3 days later for my post-op weight check, and I gained like about 5 or 6 pounds. And I knew it wasn't anything that I've done because I was only on clear liquids, right? But it still like trips your mind up. Like, I just had this major surgery to lose weight and I gained what? So it can really be disorienting. So here's what's going on. After you have surgery, your body is swollen and it's beginning to go through the healing process. The healing process takes up to 8 weeks, and your weight will fluctuate during that time. So it's not uncommon to gain 5 pounds, give or take, in the days and first few weeks after surgery. Don't stress. It's not real fat. You haven't gained any fat. You haven't eaten anything to put on that kind of weight. It's just temporary and it's part of the healing process. So just support your body in healing, and the weight loss will come. The other thing is that longer term that I mentioned, it takes about 6 to 8 weeks for your body to fully recover. I'm going to tell you what my surgeon told me. Your surgeon may tell you something different based on their experience and based on what they know about your health. But your weight fluctuates during those first 6 to 8 weeks while you're healing. So my surgeon tells his patients not to expect any weight loss at all during that healing phase. You may lose some people do, but some people don't lose a lot of weight, and that's totally normal. Just support the healing process, get your hydration, get your protein, do your supplements, get gentle exercise as your program is advising you, get good sleep. Sleep is very important. Just support the healing process and take care of your body, and it will take care of you. All right, let's go to number 3. A lot of people get tripped up around what to say to people who challenge their decision to have weight loss surgery. This is common, and it happens among friends, close friends, and even family members. I decided to get a therapist before I had bariatric surgery because I wanted to establish a relationship. So that way, after I had surgery, I would have someone that I felt comfortable with that I could talk to as I was going through the weight loss and dealing with different issues. And I'm really glad that I did that because my therapist gave me an exercise that I was able to do before I had surgery to help me figure out how I was going to talk to people who made comments or asked questions about my decision to have weight loss surgery. So I'm going to share with you what she told me. What you're going to do is make a list of everybody you know, friends, family, people you worship with, people you work with, your neighbors, people in your PTA, people you run into at the dog park, everybody in your life, high school classmates, everyone. Then you're going to group people by how comfortable you are with them and how close your relationship is. So that might be everything from very casual acquaintances, people you just wave to as you pass by, all the way to people that maybe you share pictures or videos of your kids with and just have kind of casual water cooler talk with, all the way to people who are like your most intimate inner circle friends, people who have always got your back, the people you can confide in the most, the people you know will always support you. And you might have more groups than that, but group people according to how comfortable you are with them. And then for each group, you're going to write out what you're going to say. So for the people who are super casual acquaintances that you just wave hello to, you might not say anything. There might be a group of people that you say, yeah, I've been working on my health, or yeah, I've been working on my weight. And then you might decide to say more if they ask, like, what are you doing? You might decide, well, yes, I've been getting medical care, or you might decide some other script to say. You might decide that you have people in your life who you just simply say, I'm having weight loss surgery, and that's it, end of discussion. And sometimes those are family members, and that's okay. You need to build a world where you can set yourself up for success, and that includes managing relationships. And then you might have an inner circle of people that you really confide in, that you can tell everything to. So for me, I had a group of about 4 or 5 people, and they still support me, and I'm 3 years out, who knew everything I was doing, people I could share my concerns with and would talk with me about them or just be there to be a sounding board. These people called me the night before my surgery. They called me the day after to see how I was doing. And these are people that I can still rely on when I go out to eat. They're the people that will share a plate with me if I like. So once you group all of those people and you come up with what you're going to say to each of those groups, memorize it. So that way it is right off the tip of your tongue. You don't have to go back and look in your phone to see what you wrote. You want to memorize it and have those scripts ready in your head. So that way you're comfortable and you're creating a psychological space for yourself to succeed and to manage your relationships the way that you need to so you can succeed. Okay, number 4, you want to make healthy living as easy as possible. You want to make it a no-brainer. I'll be honest with you, it took me about a year to figure out everything with my new lifestyle to support my bariatric surgery and how I needed to eat and how I needed to exercise. But if you start now and start getting mentally ready and start putting things in place, you'll make it easier on yourself to live the way that you need to live to support your new lifestyle. I do have another video about lifestyle changes that you can make, so look for that video if you'd like more details. But I'll say here that if you start now before surgery and start thinking about the things that are challenges for you and start experimenting with ways to solve those problems or ways to set yourself up for success, go ahead and do it. So as an example, one of the things, I wish I had done this before my surgery. I didn't think about it until after I had a knee replacement about a year and a half after I had my bariatric surgery. I use takeout salads for my meal prep. I'm somebody who I wanted to do everything natural. I want to focus on whole foods. I wanted to minimize processed foods. And I've been to culinary school. So I started out thinking I'll just cook all of my own meals, I'll meal prep. And then a few months after surgery, I got tired of that. Like I got to a point where I felt like I'm spending an hour and a half in the kitchen and I only eat a half a cup of food. Like, why am I spending all of this time in the kitchen when I don't eat that much? And I was seeing a lot of the produce that I buy go to waste before, go bad before I could use it all. And then when I had my knee replacement, I thought, to make things easy for myself after my knee replacement, I'll just get some takeout salads, order extra protein with them, and that way I won't have to cook much that first week or two after I had my knee replacement. And when I did that, I was like, why aren't I doing this all the time anyway? So now that's my meal prep pretty much. I order every week. I order 2 or 3 salads from a salad restaurant, or sometimes I'll go to a favorite restaurant that just has a really good salad and I'll order a salad. I'll have the dressing put on the side so it doesn't wilt the greens. And then I'll get double protein or triple protein. So that way I'm reaching my protein goals. And then I break those salads up, usually like a sweet green salad is 4 meals for me. And so I'll get 2 or 3 salads a week and break them up into smaller meals. And that's my meal prep. And I get vegetables, I get some whole grains sometimes, and I get my protein. So think of things like that that will help you set yourself up for success. And think about the things that are hard for you to do right now or things that are a little extra challenging. But that is a really great way to mentally prepare yourself for surgery. It is going to be challenging. There's going to be things that after you have surgery, you'll realize that you can't tolerate anymore or you need to do things differently. But do what you can now to help make things easy for yourself. It's going to be challenging enough afterward, so set yourself up to succeed. You want to make healthy living so easy that when you are tired and all you want to do is fall into bed, that making the choice that you want to make is super easy and you don't have to think about it. Okay, number 5, don't deny yourself time with family and friends. A lot of people feel like after they have bariatric surgery that it's hard to spend time with family and friends because they eat so differently or they don't eat much at all or there's restrictions on what you can eat. And it's really hard, especially because so many of life's celebrations center around food. When you think about holidays and celebrations like birthdays and anniversaries and graduations. So it is really hard to feel like you can be a part of a celebration when you can't eat very much. Some people worry that others will notice that they're not eating very much or that they're eating differently and that they'll be exposed to a lot of questions. But in my opinion, Spending time with people that you really care about and people who care about you is part of good health. Like, you need a social life to be mentally healthy and emotionally healthy. So you don't want to deny that part of your life because that's part of who you are. It's part of being human. This is how to approach it. This is how I approach it. Number one, I always make sure when I go to a holiday celebration with family or I go to a dinner party that there's something there that I can eat. So if the host or hostess doesn't know what my needs are, I try not to, me personally, I don't want to impose my needs on them. Other than having bariatric surgery, I can pretty much eat anything. The surgery did make me lactose intolerant, but that's not usually something I bring up. If the host or hostess asks, hey, do you have any food intolerances? I'll say, yeah, I can't eat dairy. But other than that, I usually say, hey, can I bring something? And I will bring something that I know I can eat. So that way there's something there that I can eat. The other thing that I do is I don't make it about the food. I focus on being with people. That's to me what holiday gatherings and dinner parties are really about, is just connecting with people. So I will get a small plate and I'll eat what I can eat. And then I will start working the room, even if I have to move my dining chair around the table to go talk with different people and just spend a few minutes talking with people and catching up and really making some warm connections and making some memories. The other thing that my family does is we include games or non-food things into our holiday celebrations. So, for example, one side of my family loves to play charades, and there's somebody in the family who plays the piano and the organ, and we gather around and start singing, especially, in end of year holidays. So there are things like that that you can do, put in games into the mix, or, put other activities into the mix, to make your holiday less food centric so that you can really have fun and spend time with people. When I dine out, I also have a strategy for that too. I go out with friends, just like anybody else, just like I did before. But I usually have a friend with me who knows what I've been through in terms of surgery, and they're willing to split a plate with me. I have one friend, he hasn't had bariatric surgery. I have another friend who has had bariatric surgery, and we'll split a plate. We'll decide, sometimes we decide before, or sometimes we wait till we get there to decide what we want off the menu and order, and we'll just split it. And then my friend who hasn't had bariatric surgery, he knows, and we'll decide together what we want to order, and then we'll ask for an extra plate, and then we split the meal real subtly. I don't have to attract attention to myself, and then I Venmo him the money later, or we work out some other arrangement so that way we're splitting the bill. If I'm by myself or I'm with somebody who doesn't understand it and I don't want to impose, I either order an appetizer or a small plate, or, if there's an entree I really just want, I'll order the entree and then just take the rest home. So don't deny yourself going out with friends, spending time with people. Even if I go out for drinks, I just order a mocktail and get a pretty umbrella and just start working the room and talking to people. So pay attention to your social life because that is part of being healthy. It's part of being human, and you need those connections. So don't deny yourself that just because you've had weight loss surgery. You should set yourself up for success, and surgery is meant to improve the quality of your life. So don't deny yourself that. That's the whole reason you're having surgery, is to have great quality of life. Enjoy your life, okay? All right, number 6. This is going to be a really powerful, handy tool for helping you get mentally and emotionally ready for having weight loss surgery. On your journey to having weight loss surgery, you are going to have doubts. Even if you were very positive this is what you wanted, somewhere along the road, you're going to second guess yourself. You're going to have doubts. Someone is going to say something to make you go, wait a minute, is this really going to happen? Or should I be worried about X? Or something is going to come up that'll make you second guess your decision. You might start to have fears about having surgery, or wondering if it's really going to work, or you'll go on social media and you'll see lots of people in support groups talking about all of the complications and problems they're having, and it'll make it seem like everybody has problems. The nature of a support group is that people are reaching out for help. people are reaching out for support. And so because it's a concentration of people asking for help, people who are having a positive experience aren't always going on every day to say, hey, I'm having a great experience, I've lost this. It's usually a lot of people posting questions. So it makes it seem like everybody's having problems when that's not really the case. It's just that you're hearing all the problems and you're not always hearing the people who are having a great experience or have had great results. So something along the road is going to make you question your decision to have weight loss surgery, or you might begin to have some fears and doubts. Do this. This is what I did. Make a list of all of the reasons you wanted to have bariatric surgery. Make a list of everything you look forward to as a result of having your weight loss surgery. Obviously, there's the weight loss, so put that at the top of your list. And you might even, specifically say, how much do you hope to lose as a result of surgery? So put that on the top of your list. Then write down everything else. Maybe you want to alleviate back pain or knee pain. Maybe you want to reduce your blood pressure. Maybe you want to treat heart disease and make things easier for your heart health. Maybe you want to alleviate arthritis. Maybe you have sleep apnea and you're hoping the weight loss will resolve your sleep apnea. Maybe you have type 2 diabetes or you're pre-diabetic and you're hoping the weight loss will help address that. Maybe you just want to play with your kids more. You want to travel more. You want to have a better quality of life. You want to live longer. All of the reasons that you are having weight loss surgery, all of the things that you look forward to, make that list. Then I want you to read that list to yourself out loud anytime you begin to second guess or you have doubts. Read it out loud to yourself. I don't care if you are in the hospital the night before your surgery and there's somebody else in the room, read it out loud to yourself. Reading those positive statements out loud to yourself and those outcomes out loud to yourself just does something to your mental. It really helps you focus on what you're doing and why you're doing it, and it helps you put yourself in a positive state of mind so that you can do what you need to do for your health. You need that encouragement. You need to have tools where you can encourage yourself. I believe that we all know what we really need to hear and what we really need to support ourselves. So give yourself that gift. Give yourself the gift of hearing what you need to hear when you need to hear it. So make that list and have it in your back pocket or in your bag and have it on your phone. Have it someplace handy so that when you need it, it's there for you and you can really support yourself in having a surgery and having a successful health journey. All right, I'm going to ask you for a favor and then I'm going to share some resources with you. The first thing is, if you're still with me, I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe. And it's not just for me, but I'm really passionate about helping other people who want to have bariatric surgery because it's hard and it's a long journey and some people don't have a lot of support in their lives. So if you subscribe, that will let the YouTube algorithm know to get this video in front of more people who need it. So I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe. I have a couple of tools for you. Number one, if you are still at the point of trying to decide whether you want to have bariatric surgery, what procedure to have, and cost, I have a website called the Bariatric Surgery Explorer. The link is in the video description. It's a free resource. You can go to this website and you can learn more about all of the different procedures that are available or the most popular ones. And then there's also a cost comparison tool. So you can compare costs of different procedures, not only in the United States, but you can compare costs in different countries. I have Mexico and Turkey there. So you could say, for example, compare the cost of a sleeve in the United States and Mexico, or Mexico and Turkey. All the costs are averages. Every surgeon has their own price, but it'll give you a good ballpark so you can start to plan how you're going to approach your journey. The other thing that I can offer is that I do one-on-one support calls for people who are thinking about having bariatric surgery. This isn't a medical call. I'm not a medical professional. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a nutritionist. What I do is I help you plan all of the other stuff. So if you're looking for a surgeon, I can point you to resources to find a surgeon that works for you. If you're thinking about having surgery abroad, if you want to finance your surgery and you're looking at options for financing, I can help you with resources that will help you save time and even save money on your journey. I'll tell you that when I had bariatric surgery, between the time that I decided I was going to have the surgery and the time that I actually had surgery was almost 2 years. And if I had had the kind of support that I'm offering in these calls, I could have saved myself probably a year, and I probably also could have saved myself some money in deposits that I made because I switched surgeons 2 times before I finally landed on a third and final surgeon. So if this sounds like something that you would like, this sounds helpful to you, there's a link in the video description to my Calendly. You can find some time that works for you, and you can let me know when you book what you would like to focus the call on. We'll spend an hour together, and then after the call, I'll send you a personalized email. I'll recap everything that we discussed, and then I'll send you some resources that you can use. So it's kind of like your own roadmap to your weight loss surgery journey. So if that's something that you feel like will help you, go ahead and click that link and book. I hope this video has been helpful to you. There's some other videos that I have that will help answer some questions, and I'm going to be here for you. Take care.